Hey y'all, this is the Heard You Sis podcast. I'm Kilz.
I'm Dany, and we have a special guest today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name is OG Kliclak.
I'm feeling your vibe, OG Kliclak. How was your week, OG Kliclak? We like to start our episodes off with a "How was your week?"
All right. Well, my week was very eventful. It was informative, and it was pretty good. I went up, so yeah, it was good.
That's good. That's good. How was your week, Akila?
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of like, I was PMSing. I didn't realize it, but I was,
Damn, I was just about to ask you, girl, you PMSing this week? Because I definitely was.
Yeah, because I don't know. Maybe we synced up or something.
I told you that the last time that we was synced.
You think so?
I'm
good. I'm glad for this sync because push it back earlier, not around my birthday. I'm cool with that. This may be TMI, but whatever. Anyway, so I realized that I was like hella annoyed at everything. Like everything this week was just like blowing me. Like my job was blowing me. Everything was just like blowing me. Like, and usually my manager was like, yeah, we gonna get the money this week, da-da-da-da. And in the back of my head, I'm like, nigga, this ain't my money. Like, you feel me? That's the attitude I had this week. Like, I don't give a fuck about this money, my nigga. It's not my money. Like,
we're going to get the money.
So, yeah, like, that's the type of vibe I had. I don't think it was necessarily positive. And that's why I didn't really want to be around anybody or whatever.
Oh, I definitely get the feeling. I understand that, not wanting to be around anybody.
You feel me? It's because I don't like portraying that energy on other people. I just feel like,
Same.
But how was your week, though?
Excuse me. I just got back from vacation on Wednesday. I was very sad that I had to go back to work.
Mm-hmm. Where did you go?
I went to Costa Rica. My mom celebrated her 70th birthday.
Okay, hola.
What's up?
And we had a great time. Like she climbed 600 stairs to the mountains and zip-lined 11 zip lines down.
Was she scared of the zip line?
I was more scared than she was.
Girl, you done been zip lining.
But guess what? Shit, when you see that, when you on this little plank that's fucking 80 meters in the air, you're like, the fuck? And then you got to get rappelled down. Nah, you be scared. Like that height is too much sometimes.
Yo, did you go on that? You went with me on that retreat, right?
Yes, we did. And that shit was not good for me. You forgot I was.
You
scared.
Killing me like you never been on this shit. Like if I didn't know you, I wouldn't know that you've been on. You took my something. I'm so scared.
A phobia of heights doesn't go away because you accomplished the phobia.
Girl, you done zip line into water. You done did all kinds of shit.
And guess what? I could zip line upside down and I will still be afraid of heights.
Okay.
But we also we went to see the volcano, and I had never seen a volcano in my life, so that was something that was different for me.
Okay.
But we had a really good time. Like she just kept saying, this trip was so amazing. So shout out to my siblings and myself for making sure that she had a great time. But other than that, I had a really good week. I had a really good night last night too.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's get into this episode. So Kliclak, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I mean, there's so much. I would prefer you to pick a starting point.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Akila.
All right. We could talk about. All right. So I know you had like kids young. You have two children.
Mm-hmm.
So how was it having kids at a young age? Do you feel like did it stop? Because I think a lot of the misconception with like having kids at a certain age is like you missing out on stuff, you missing out on fun, like being a teenager. Do you feel like that was a thought of yours or like no?
Nah, I mean, I came up with a whole different mindset when I was growing up anyway, because like I was really influenced by like a lot of street people and stuff like that. So initially, my first reason for having a child or my desire to have a child was really to leave something on this earth in case I get knocked off.
Oh, wow.
Because I was like really dancing and flirting with death and having sex with her and all types of shit. You know what I mean? So death was like really around me a lot, and I felt like if I was to get pushed off the planet by one of my rivals, at least I could leave like a child behind that could do something better, or whatever. And I also I wanted my mother to have something too, because I'm my mother and my father's only child.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, I was really, really playing on the edge and stuff. But having a child young, I mean, does have disadvantages if you're into being like a teen or some young person.
Okay.
But I didn't grow up that way. I've been a man since I was 6, really, because my father died when I was 6.
Wow.
You know, so after that, it was just, me and my mom's. And my mom's, she been through a lot, too. My mom's been to prison and stuff like that, too. So, I came up in a hard household,
Right.
So my mom's not really knowing how to raise a man and not make him soft. She detached a lot of stuff from me. So I wasn't really one of those emotional kids that want to hug and, listen, be all up under mommy and stuff like that. Because she wasn't training me that way. Like, if I started whining about something, my mother would tell me, get down and do some push-ups. You know what I mean? The fuck is you whining for, boy? Get down on the floor, give me some push-ups. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
but,
let me shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right, So when my son Jaquan was born, I was 17, going on 18, right? And I didn't think about, what I'm giving up or anything, because at that point, even though I was a heavy street person, I was doing great in school. I was already about to graduate and all that stuff. So I really care about that. And as far as fun, I still had fun. So, but it depends on the lifestyle of the person, really.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. So do you feel like you're like, like you did say that, you feel like you had to grow up fast because of the fact that, your mom had to raise you to be a man young because you lost your dad. How did that affect you? Like,
Again, being so young, it really didn't affect me at all because a lot of my emotions was already turned off from what I was exposed to in life.
okay.
You know what I mean? So it was like, I already knew people die, so it's like when they die, I'd always looked at it as they graduated to the next stage of life. I never looked at it as a loss. I just looked at it as they moved to their next place. You know what I mean? So it never really hit me hard. Like other people take death as a loss. I don't take it as that. I take it as the person has the opportunity to move on to the next phase in life, whatever it may be. How
did your mom take, because I know you said your mom been through a lot and she tried to mold you into like kind of like cutting off your emotions, but how did she take your father's death though?
Well, my mom was a real G, so she wasn't boo-hooing or none of that shit. She was like a soldier about shit.
Did you feel like she felt it though? Like
it's possible. It's quite possible. But again, my mother really didn't show much emotions growing up to me either because, like I said, she been through a lot. My mother went through foster care and all types of stuff. So, it was like a whole lot of stage being set for, for me to have one hell of a ride, And like, I'm grateful to even be at this point today to even still be around to talk to people and express to people that, I survived it and I also learned from it. I didn't let it keep me in that space. I didn't stop growing mentally, and I was always like a real sharp person. And in school, they wanted to skip me from 5th grade to 11th.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? So my mother didn't want that done though because funny thing, right? She wanted to like keep me amongst my peers because she said, "Oh, high school kids, they smoking weed, they having sex. I want you to grow up with your peers. I don't want you to grow up too fast, right?"
When did you start doing that?
But she didn't know I was already having sex and smoking weed, so it didn't really make a difference, And all the kids in the school
in 5th grade?
Yeah, I started smoking weed in 4th grade.
Wow.
That's kind of crazy. Can I ask you this? Because I feel like a lot of black men, they always like lose their virginity to somebody older. Was that you?
Yeah, I lost my. Well, funny thing about that, right? I'm not, like I said, I'm not embarrassed to talk about stuff. Funny thing about it, when I lost my virginity, I realized I didn't lose it the time I thought I did. Because I was young, I didn't know about sex the right way yet. I wasn't getting the right information.
No, you stick it in, it happened.
Right, but look, this is right.
So he's going to go there, girl. He's going to go there.
I didn't know what was going on. Mind you, I'm still young. I'm trying to get my action going, right? Okay. And I guess looking back, I realized what I did. I just had it in between her legs and the moisture. So I thought I was getting some action, and I'm having fun. My little puppy water came out, everything, right?
Not puppy water.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Right? So, I'm thinking I done crossed over, and then one day, another sister who was a little, more mature than me Well, we was in school still, we stayed after school and hide in the coat closet, right? So she was like, pull it out, so I pulled it out, whatever. And she playing with it. She pulled her pants down and turned around and like stuck it in. And I felt the difference. And I was like, holy shit, pussy feel like this?
I'm never giving it up.
Yeah. This shit wasn't what I thought it was.
Right. So then I was like, oh, so the other time I didn't even do nothing. I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So you was pumping to the crew that you lost your virginity and you didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, nigga, I lost my virginity. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Some moist thighs.
Yeah. I was just, a little bit beyond dry humping.
But I know we talked about this off air, but because you weren't here for this, but when we started talking about like making decisions to have kids with people, and what kind of decision is that? Like, how does it weigh on you? And so we basically were talking about how, I know I spoke about how I feel like if I'm gonna wait this long to have kids with somebody, I'm gonna make sure that it's right.
Right.
And I know you spoke about how you feel like you don't feel like you necessarily made the right decision with the person.
Right.
And because, some people be like, if I get the same kid, I mean, I would have this kid again, but it's just the person that I had the kid with or whatever.
Right.
So why do you feel like you made those decisions? Were you feel like because you were young?
Well,
your choice?
Again, initially, the first one with my son, it was really for me to leave something behind in case I got,
So it wouldn't have really mattered of the person, or
not at that point. No, really, when I even selected the female, right, that I was that I ended up impregnating. When I first met her, if you in life someone ever gets to talk to her about it, she'll tell you the same shit. Like when I first met her, I was like, yo, you are cute, you gorgeous. You're gonna have my son.
When people say that to me, I be like, get the fuck away from me. Because sometimes they be dead ass. You are living proof that you was dead ass serious. Like,
yeah, I done talked to somebody and they like, yeah, you gonna give me another? You gonna give me another one? Another who?
Yeah,
no, baby.
Yeah, no.
And at first she was like, what? I don't even know your name. And I was like, my name is Kliclak. My mama called me Russell, but let me take you out, take you shopping, change your wardrobe, and get ready to have this baby.
Wow.
She started like laughing at first. But
I believe he's telling the very much truth. Very much the truth.
And I took her shopping, and then I moved in with me, and next you know, she's pregnant.
What's the first time that you went to jail?
The first time I went to jail, I was 11 years old.
11? That's kind of young.
What was that for?
That's juvenile though, right?
Yeah,
or do
juvenile.
they care about that? Because when
Nah,
you're black,
it's
you
juvenile.
adult
They put you in,
Yeah.
because Rikers got a juvenile too. They put you in Rikers?
But no, I didn't go to Rikers at 11. The first time I went to Rikers, I was 15.
Okay, wow.
But I wasn't supposed to go then, so I.
You wasn't supposed to. You weren't supposed to go then.
16. Supposed to be 16.
But like I said, you black, you a man.
Yeah.
They look at you like you 6. I mean, at 6 years old, you a
RNDC
grown ass
is just
man.
like RNDC is just
Not RNDC, baby. You been there?
She's 74.
You forgot.
Visit somebody?
You forgot. You forgot. My bro.
Nah, I've been to RNDC,
my
baby.
My brother, like, I'm telling you, like, that shit is different. Like, you go there when you 16, 17 just to see your friend. I'm a few years older than him, but it's just like, you go there to see them at 18. That shit is traumatizing. You got on a dress. They making you put on, like, green long shirts because they said that your bra is showing. You can't even see the bra. You just see the line of the bra. And I'm like, what the fuck?
One time they had me take out my ponytail.
Yo, they made me take out my ponytail.
Girl,
Yo,
I was looking crazy going to
I had
that
enough.
man. I couldn't believe it.
I had to take the
Good
piece
thing
and
he
wrap it
liked me.
around. Like,
because I looked the fucking mess. I had a bun. They had me take out the piece in the.
good thing
I was putting pieces.
Good
in
thing
the
my
bun,
brother
girl.
did not like me, because that shit would have deteriorated. Because when I tell you, I had like the little nub, and I had to wrap the piece around the nub. Yo, that shit was a no-go.
Look,
like,
y'all overthinking it. Technically, right? Look, because when I'm gonna tell you from the visitor's perspective,
Okay.
right?
They don't care. They just want to see somebody.
They want to see a female, right? They want to talk to a female. Kiss on them, touch them if it's a plus.
oh, it never was that.
But I'm just saying, that's the people.
I
but
done
I'm just
kissed
saying,
and touched on the dance floor.
right?
Dance
But
floor,
yeah, on the dance floor, yeah.
Definitely dance
I've had sex in the visiting room. I mean,
No.
yeah.
How you did that?
wait, let's get into that. Like,
right.
sorry, let's. How the fuck did that happen?
All right, it's different scenarios that present itself. Like For example, like when I was upstate in
okay.
No, I've done it on the island too. Wow. Yeah, I've done it on Rikers Island
In them
too.
little boxes?
Like when I had
Some
cage
don't
visits.
have boxes though.
No, like cage visits.
Yeah.
Cage visits is like when when you cut people and you get caught weapons. I had
Yeah,
cage
like when
visits.
they in solitary, right?
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
When they in a box.
Cage visits is possible depending on what COs is working and shit like that and where they place you in the cage. Because the cage obstructs your view after a certain amount of cages. You can't really see through the gates anymore. So if you're like in the 6th, 7th, 8th cage or whatever, you and your shorty, it's kind of kinky because you all shackled up. You know, like, get it. Like, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy. Because I've heard people say that, but because when I went to see somebody or whatever, I was dating somebody that was in and out or whatever, and we would always meet where, like, you know, the chair is right there, the little
table,
like,
yeah,
little
yeah,
table, and
right.
right there, or like it would just be like knee to knee, so it's not like like me like being able to touch, but you hug too long, hey, you feel me? Like,
do that.
But again, it depends on
who
officers,
you are,
right? And the officers, like,
you feel like you held stand, like you was able to do
definitely,
shit like that.
yeah, I got longer visits than the average person and shit. Because like when I was there, it was certain officers like Tyson and all of them working the dance floor, you know, and they had a different level of respect for the dudes who, you know, pop off versus the dudes who are just inmates. You know what I mean? There's a prisoner and an inmate mentality. Like, I was a prisoner, I wasn't an inmate. An inmate is like the dudes that go for everything. They work with the system. They're like, you know, in there. They're just, you know, institutionalized.
So what you think is the difference between a prisoner, like?
A prisoner is not
Make
gonna,
that shit.
not gonna form.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A prisoner is like not gonna just go for anything. Like, for example,
you are who you are outside and inside, like,
right.
The change.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's like, for example, they had a moment when I was upstate in Greenhaven Correctional Facility, right? I think this was like 1996, right? And while we were serving time, they wanted to, you know, extend the prisons and build cells, right? But they was trying to get the prisoners to build cells instead of hiring outside contractors, right? Now, at first, you know, when they started propositioning people, they was like, get the fuck out of here. We ain't building no cells for my kids or none of that shit. The fuck out of here. You gonna put my kids in there. I ain't building that shit, you know?
And people started conforming.
Right, but then you
get a little coins.
No, they started offering a little bit more, right? Saying, yo, if you work and build the cells, we'll pay you $300 a month. You know what I mean? So then you had dudes going $300 a month. I ain't getting no money from home. I ain't getting no visits. I'll build them fucking cells. So then it became a division because some of us was like, nigga, where you going? Like, I'm going to build cells. I'm like, nah, fuck that. So we would beat them up, cut them. So then they started separating everybody and shit like that. And again, you have some dudes that they even went as far as to offer dudes like trailer visits to build cells. Like, yo, we get you.
Yeah, you ain't get no pussy in like 5 years.
Right.
Shit, what kind? Where the cells supposed to be? You said it's a 4x4.
Right.
Don't y'all do that one time?
Do that.
One time.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's
morality. Their morals.
Right.
Their morals.
No matter what, I would not build a cell for anything.
Yeah, when you stand tall, what's the saying? When you stand for something, you fall for nothing or some shit like that.
Stand for something or you fall for anything.
There you go. My bad.
But that's a great. So sorry, we skipped over the part of how the fuck you had sex on a dance floor because.
All right. Well, again, there's multiple ways. No, I told her one, the cage visits. Right?
You told me cage visits. You told me
but
everything.
There's other ways too. Like, for example, when I was in a state facility, this was a medium. Which jail was this? I've been in so many of them shits. I believe this was Oneida. No, this was Mid-State. This is in the same hub because Oneida, Mid-State, Marcy, and I think Oneida, Mid-State, Marcy, and...
Isn't that the furthest one, Oneida? Like, isn't that one like mad far? Like,
nah, the furthest one I believe is Clinton because it takes like 10 and a half hours.
Oh no, not that one.
That's so long.
I think Oneida's like 4 hours out of New York City.
I mean, nah, Oneida's kind of far too.
It's far.
Oneida's
I think
like 8 hours.
I think that's where Chris was at.
I think it's like 8 hours. But anyway, when I was in that facility, Mid-State, I believe it was, right? I mean, was it Mid-State? Yeah, it was Mid-State, right?
You ain't gotta break your brain for it.
I'm trying to make sure because because when people look at this, they're gonna like fact check shit anyway because this is how people are. So
that ass.
I try
you gotta be accurate.
Yeah,
niggas definitely be like,
right information.
He lying. Yeah. You can't do that there. Shut the fuck up.
You know what I mean? But Oh, the jail I was in, I believe. Oh, what the hell is the name of it? Marcy Mohawk. Mohawk, that's the
Okay.
name. Mohawk, right? I was in Mohawk. I was in 73F at the time, right? That's the housing unit. And in the visiting room, we went to visit. There was like, you could take pictures, and people be lining up to take pictures.
Oh, yeah.
I never took pictures. You took pictures, girl. You was real cute in that picture. I ain't
That's
gonna
not
hold you.
fucking. Yo, for you. I
while
keep
they,
getting inquiries on that picture, okay?
So while they was lining up to take pictures, my shorty had on sweats, the windbreaker style, the swishy joints, right? Right. So she had on those, and I'm like, cool. I'm gonna just pop these greens. I'm gonna pop my shit over the top of it, like, and stand there like we waiting online. I pulled the sweats down.
Nobody was seeing y'all on the line.
I mean, people seeing us right here, but as long as the police don't see me, I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to get mine off.
Niggas is minding their business because everybody trying to get their shit.
Right. And then you had jails like Green Haven. I was in that jail, state prison back then in the 90s, right? And like they had opened up a new visiting room. They had an old visiting room and a new visiting room. The old visiting room was like a bar style joint. It's just like you sit across a big ass bar that's like it's separated from the floor down, so you can't really do nothing in that visiting room. But the new visiting room, it has an inside, outside. It has like this little like area where the vending machines was lined up against the wall and stuff like that. On the outside, there was like a little like a ledge that came over that like a foyer area that kind of prevented the tower from seeing. So people would go out on the outside part and play the wall, until they, like, we always tell people ahead of time, like, yo, if your family come, your mom, your grandmas, don't come outside because outside is lit, like, you know what I mean? And people would tell people ahead of time.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So sometimes motherfuckers would come out there and shit, and you see a chick bopping, sucking a nigga off and shit, and it's like, oh, let me go step over here. Come on, baby, we gonna go over here. I'm gonna get me some too. Like,
yeah.
So
that's kind of crazy. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna be real. I mean, I feel like I was a love drunk when I was visiting this specific nigga back and forth in jail. But I legit don't think that I would have been fucking though. Cause you know what I'm saying? Like, it was sometimes I felt a little too uncomfortable when the kiss got a little crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these niggas is all in your face. Like, they don't see no action. They like this. They ready. Like, why y'all doing a little too much?
Yo, I remember one time, I don't remember what jail we went to, but I remember the bus left. It was me and his moms. Shout out to my brother. Me and his moms, we went on the bus all the way up there. That shit was mad uncomfortable riding that fucking bus. And like you get there and niggas is in your face. Like, I mean, they staring. I'm like, yo.
No, I'm not gonna hold you.
They be in your face. Especially if you even look half decent. Like, they staring.
Because what's the name? In Rikers, if you take the bus and you get off at a certain stop, they be there. So they be dun, 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 banging on the gate or whatever. And it's like, yo, my nigga, you will never touch any of us. Stop banging on this fucking gate.
They can't help themselves. I mean,
they can't help it. They can't help it. I've heard so many stories about, like, I know someone who's a CEO, and basically he tells me all the time, like, these niggas is wild. Like, they be jerking off to the girls and shit, like on some disrespectful shit.
In front of the.
Yeah, they do that shit. And the thing is that, like, you can snitch on them. But it's like you could like, they gonna keep doing that shit. You could add more time onto their time. They gonna keep doing it.
Doesn't matter.
That's
like
true.
they act like you seem like you're more one of the chill like.
Now.
Okay, you feel like you was wild?
You feel like
definitely.
Yeah, because they be wilding in there. They be wilding. They be yo. He be telling me stories sometimes like, yo, they would ask you the same question 40 times, like the same fucking question.
Yo, I'm
like, they be wilding, but
I mean,
hey, what can you do? You're around these people all day.
That's true.
It's the mind state,
It's a
right?
mentality.
Yeah.
Prison has an energy about it, right? That you could you got some people that come in and just stay out of everything and stay out of everybody's way and just quietly do their time. But it looks like it's a slow suffering ass bid to do it that way. But you got people who do it that way. Then you got some people who've been through it before, so they come in and they already established that they're respectable dudes and you ain't gonna fuck with me, but we gonna keep it solid like this and that's that, right? Then you have the type of person who comes in there who's afraid, right? And in their mind, they're hearing all these stories about jail, right?
I feel bad for those.
So
people.
no, but here's the thing: those
I'm gonna be that bitch.
But those sometimes those are usually the ones that turn out to be the wildest because of the fear of something happening. Makes them attack faster.
Okay. Yep.
You know what I mean? And once they get caught up in the motion of it, sometimes they get turned on by it. Because you have some dudes who were soft in the street who got turned up in jail and became a live wire in jail, and it's like, yo, yeah, this nigga's running.
Like,
I know this nigga.
And then you come out of the jail and this nigga is turning this shit up.
He's
like
still turning up
You know
his whole
what I'm saying?
state now.
But,
Like,
So it's something about the way you get caught up into it, like whichever route you take. See, because like when I first went to Rikers Island, right, in the 80s, my thing was I used to hear about people taking people's sneakers, and dudes would come home from jail with other sneakers on that wasn't the ones they had when they
fuck
went in.
the sneakers. You ain't taking my cootie cat.
Well,
that's all.
That's all
I'm stabbing a bitch.
I mean, Rikers Island, we're talking about Rikers. Like, Rikers, the odds of somebody raping somebody on Rikers, they really have to really be sick already because it's just like jail. It's not even prison yet.
And it's niggas from the hood for real. Like, everybody, like, a lot of people know each other up in this bitch. Like,
right. I mean, but, the rape thing, even that is like stereotypically blown out of proportion.
You think so?
Yes, I know so. I mean,
he been there. He knows. So.
Okay, that's true.
I've spent 22 years in prison.
That's the longest time you ever spent like solid going through?
I did 11 in the state, 11 in the feds.
Wow.
Right, so it's again, it's like the rape situation. I've only seen like 2 situations where someone was raped. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like because a nigga was sexy or soft looking and none of this crazy shit. It was like
Teaching them a lesson.
That's what I'm saying.
it wasn't about a lesson either, but one incident, right? You had a dude who was just like, he was just a booty bandit. That's what they call him. The type.
We've heard.
Right?
You don't got to get into that. But
now,
yes.
Now
It
look.
makes me uncomfortable. I feel bad for people that think this shit happens.
But now look.
No, I'm not
listen,
laughing
right?
at that. I'm laughing at the video.
Yeah, right. So now as it played out, he's the type of person, but he waits for someone to lose a fight. Like if a person gets knocked out, he's gonna jump on their back. You know what I mean? And
nobody gonna say nothing, stop him?
I mean, they don't give a fuck about the nigga that's on the floor.
That's true.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
So he'll wait until he gets knocked out, pull his pants down, and rape him?
Yeah. Right. Now.
Wow.
Also, there was another incident I was in the feds in Fort Dix Correctional Facility, right? So it's like a low security facility, right? And you won't expect stuff like that to happen in a low security, but it was one dude who was raping all the child molesters.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
I'm okay with that.
You know
Go
what I'm
ahead.
saying? So
Rip that booty open.
You trying to
Rip
wow
that shit.
people? Are you taking shit? Or we taking shit for real?
yeah,
Rip that
you know
shit
what I mean?
wide
So-
open.
Yeah.
But those are usually like the most common types of rapes.
Okay,
Okay.
that's what I was gonna ask. Like, do you guys, not you guys, but
I
you
know
know,
what you mean.
like,
Yeah.
do they usually rape people who rape people? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, usually the actual rapists, motherfuckers who are locked up like with high public rape, they're usually in PC. They're in involuntary protective custody because they already know they're gonna have a hard fucking time. You know what I'm saying? So
Do it be cops locked up too?
yeah, but still separate locations, separate facility.
PC probably.
But there was like certain guys who were doing time in the state, back when when I was doing time in the 80s, 90s and shit like that, right? Where you had dudes like, it was a dude that his name was Mother Dearest. That's what they used to call him. He was very strange with the way he was raping people because it wasn't like he wanted ass. He used to tell dudes, yo, you handsome, I want to suck your dick. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Either you throw it up, you know what I'm saying, or
I'ma
throw
take
your
it.
hands up, or I'm gonna suck your dick. Either way, right? And he would like fight niggas and knock them out and suck their dick, like
Wow.
yeah. And it was like really,
That's kind of crazy.
yeah. it's
Maybe he
fucking-
was
Right.
he had to be gay.
What's the,
Yeah,
come
you
on,
know,
you
yeah.
sucking dick? Come
Like,
on,
you sucking
you
dick.
fighting niggas to suck their dick? That's gay.
yeah.
Like,
You know what I mean?
Let's be fucking real here. Like, like you're literally fighting niggas to do this. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You know what? It's definitely, yes.
Like,
definitely.
he definitely is wild.
Yeah,
But
they ended up jumping him and stabbing him up and throwing him off the chair and all that. Yeah, they killed him.
What to you is like the craziest shit you ever seen?
Yo, that was going to be one of my, what's the craziest shit you think you saw?
What, in prison or in the world?
Both.
In prison.
Right. Both of them. Both of them.
Let's see. In prison, I think the most craziest shit I've seen. I mean, what type of crazy? You talking about violent crazy or you talking about just crazy shit?
Just some nutty ass shit that you probably would never see again.
Because like, all right,
I guess you could say violent.
Well, you could share all the stories you'd like.
Violent. Okay, violent. The most vicious violent attack I've seen was what jail was this? This was in a federal prison. I think it was USP Hazleton I was in. Right? And in this facility, you know, it's a USP, which is United States Penitentiary. You know, it's maximum security. You know,
it's like
a lot
federal?
of lifers. Yeah, a lot of federal lifers and stuff like that.
People who don't have nothing to lose in their mind.
Right. You know what I mean? I mean, you have a lot of dudes in there with a little bit of time, but just because of their record, they got to go through it.
That's what I'm saying. They mind, they think they ain't got nothing to lose. Like,
right. Yeah. You know, and there was a officer, right, who came from one of the mediums to work into a max, and his attitude was, "You ain't supposed to have it. I'm taking it." Right. But usually in the penitentiaries, the maximum security facilities,
they're a little bit more lenient
because they know these dudes is not going home.
So
certain things they let them accumulate over what they're supposed to have, right? So stamps in the federal system is used as currency. A book of stamps is worth like $10, right? So, you know, you're only allowed to have 3 books of stamps, like federal wide. That's like your only possession is allowed to not go over 3 books, right? But, you know, if we use it as currency and dudes is hustling in there, whatever, you accumulate mad stamps. You can have dudes in there with 2,000, 3,000 books of stamps. You know what I mean? And they transfer it over to, you know, cash, however, whatever they do. But the CO, he was searching the dude's locker. He took his stamps from him, you know, and left him with 3. And, you know, again, in prison, dudes got their own world now. You know what I mean?
You can't do that.
My money.
Right.
You just
know
violated.
I mean? And if someone owes, you know, people get dealt with for owing. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't try to hear, yo, if you say you're going to pay Friday come, niggas come to collect. You don't got that shit. It's usually a fight or you're going to have to add some more onto that or something. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be a form of disrespect. Your word is really important in prison.
A bond.
Right?
Yeah.
So the officer took the stamps from the dude. The dude went to talk to the officer. Yo, give me my fucking stamps back. You know what I mean? So he's like, you're not allowed to have them. It's in snap, whatever. So he said, well, you better call your captain and sergeant, somebody, because I want my fucking stamps, whatever, right? So he called the lieutenant, whatever. Lieutenant come over and try to explain to him and shit, you know, like, yo, you need to get that man back his stamps. And he's like, but that's not the rules, blah, 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 you know.
You're trying to be a go hard.
Yeah. Right.
Go hard,
you know?
get go harded on.
Yeah,
right?
that's a fact.
So then, you know, dude wasn't trying to give it back. The prisoner felt really offended, you know, so he said, I'm going to put in work on this CO. The CO came walking out the office, right? He punched him in the face. Bow. As soon as he knocked him, like, back, he pushed him to the ground and pulled a knife out and started stabbing him. Really long knife, too. It was so long that when he was stabbing, you could hear it
hitting the floor. Oh, my
pink,
God.
Pink! And he just kept hitting him. Pink! Pink, and I'm watching like, oh shit, let me go get my ice and shit, my hot water before they lock us in because like,
that's
we're gonna
it.
be locked in for
a minute,
for
days,
for days.
For days, we're gonna be locked in.
That guy died.
Yeah, he died. Yeah, you know,
hitting the floor, the knife hitting the floor, he's done.
Yeah,
probably off for one hit, he was done. But
he was hitting them all in the chest too, so that's all lungs, heart.
Oh
you know,
my
all,
God.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
You see, that's not like.
But I think, let me be real.
You have to be respectful.
I think that
respect goes up real high in prison.
All right, so there was this study that happened or whatever where basically this professor, he took a class and he split the class into 2. Half was inmates, half was half he made inmates and half he made COs. And he said like the mentality that the students of inmates had where like, you know, they really were acting like criminals, and like the COs really feel like they had so much power over their classmates. Like these are people they see all the time and everything like that or whatever. So like being locked up, it really takes a toll on you, and like it could transform you. Like I remember
Even being a
there's
CO,
a show.
that shit takes a toll
What's
on
that
you.
show? Oh my God.
They're
60 Days
voluntary
In?
coming.
No. It was a short series on HBO. It's like this Indian guy. Basically,
Oh fuck, I can't.
it was like a night to something. It was
the last night. Damn.
yeah, it was right. Yeah,
It
I
was
forgot
like
what it's called.
the night after.
The night after. I think it was
I think
called
it was
that.
the night after.
So basically, he went and chilled with this girl, and he went to chill with this girl, and he woke up, and I guess he was doing drugs, had sex or whatever. Woke up, and the bitch was dead. And like he was just a college student, and like his parents like really worked hard. They were like immigrants from like India. His
And he
father
was
drove
really
a
just a
cab,
kind person.
and he really was a kind person, and he was trying or whatever. And like he went to jail, and it was like a lot of things he was going through. He done shaved his head. It was a lot of things. And I watched this man like from the beginning of the movie really transform from somebody that was like really like, you know,
decent, like not even
like,
decent, like
a kind human being. Fuck whatever else he did. He was just a
you know
kind
what it
person.
was? He was one of those people like no good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah.
He was just giving out good deeds, not realizing that no matter how good you are as a person, that shit is gonna
Even
come
in
back to
jail,
fuck
he was
you.
just trying to be a regular person,
and niggas was fucking
but you
him
gotta be
over.
on your bully in jail because this
Yeah.
niggas on a bully. It's not because you want to be like that or whatever. So do you feel like what do you? Because I feel like jail. They said it was for reform, but it's really not. Like they're not trying to reform
conditioning.
people. They condition you to come the fuck back. You know what I'm saying? Like
Definitely.
they're not doing things to help you. They put a record. They put you on. They give you a felony. They do all these things for you not to get a job when you come out. People
They do
looking at you
everything.
in a
They
different
hinder
way
you.
or
Even-
whatever. It's hard for you to like even
to get charged with
acclimate back
anything.
with society. It's so many things that they do. So I feel like they set you up for failure by putting you in jail.
I think the system in
Well,
general
You see
sets
that?
you up.
Okay, now me personally, right?
Because you've been through it, so you
Yeah,
Yes.
I understand the concept of penitentiary, right? But it was initially created, you know, by the comedians or what Alexander renamed to the Egyptians. But initially the penitentiary was a place that if you felt like you wronged somebody in your own community, you would go in the penitentiary and penitence, right? Self-inflicted.
Basically,
You will go in there and
repent.
keep yourself away from everybody for a while and get yourself in order, get your mind right, and come back out when you felt you were ready to come back out.
Right.
Then, you know, the Europeans, the Western culture, they took the penitentiary concept and said, we're going to force it on people. Not you choose how long you stay in. We'll tell you how long you're going to stay in type shit. So that was where a lot of things went offbeat, because sometimes a person could be in prison for a small amount of time and start to realize where they made fault and where they want to change.
Right.
It. But now they got fucking 12 more years to be in here, you know, that.
Some people could
You know.
even notice the minute they do that shit, like,
Right.
yo, I'm wilding. Like, I
made
wilded.
a mistake.
I made a mistake. But you
Right.
know what?
You know, but so it's like the sentence sometimes is
Harsh.
it overrides the situation. And then so again, like I understand the concept of, you know, law and order. I know that things have to have rules and things have to have regulations because it makes sense. But prison itself, the way it's designed today, is not designed for reform.
I feel like there was ever a time, because you've been in different time frames.
Yeah, I mean,
Like there was a time where it was kind of sort of like reform.
See,
or?
I don't think in our age,
here's the
not
thing, right?
in our day and age.
I don't think that the system itself is definitely a failing system, right?
Flawed.
The way they have it designed today. But overall, see, the reform part has to come from self. Right? You gotta decide. I want, because all the opportunities for you to get your shit together is there. It's definitely there.
That's true.
But if you partake in it or not is another thing. Because you have the groups of dudes who come to jail and they just hit the gym, watch BT,
centers, all kinds of
look,
shit. Yeah,
I'm talking about like the activity in it,
Okay.
right? Because you got between probably 8 a.m. in most jails, between 8 a.m. to about fucking 6 p.m. you know, or 4 p.m.
To
depending,
accomplish something.
right? You have all types of classes and programs, vocationals, all types of stuff available to you, right? But you got some, like, sometimes the system is against it, and sometimes it's the peer situation, right? Because, like, in prison, a lot of dudes get caught up in the image of being in jail, right? So it's like they might end up hanging out with dudes even though they want to better themselves, but they hang out with the
Peer pressure.
with the dudes that's not getting bothered, or you know, the tougher, respected dudes. They end up being with one of them, you know, or being like around them so they could, you know, not be bothered, you know, and still be respected.
But you still got to keep up that image within that group.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if they're not going to class and better themselves and stuff like that.
Why
they
would
just-
I go to class?
Yeah.
Right.
Peer pressure,
you
like I
know?
said.
So like I had issues too, like, you know, being active Crip at the time, you know, because I was still gangbanging. I'm inactive now, you know, but I used to be a member of the Harlem. I'm still a member, but I'm just inactive. You know?
Inactive, right?
But as far as it goes, like even with that, me being an artist and stuff like that, because I draw and I'm really good at it, you know. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use this as my talent instead of going out there, you know,
Do
doing
you
what
feel
I
like
did.
that was like an outlet? Because you really could draw.
Yeah,
You know
thank
what I'm
you.
saying?
Mhm.
Like, you
Might
artiste.
use you for some things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and again, like I said, even when I was a criminal, I was very cunning. I was always intelligent. You know, I was always well spoken and everything. It's just that I got with the drama because I thought that's what it was. That
It's
was my
fun.
definition.
It's fun
Yeah.
at the moment. Like,
Nah, it is fun in the moment. 'Cause
It's
I thought
definitely-
dating a nigga going back and forth to jail was it, and then I started being drained, and a nigga draining me,
Right.
and then I gotta wait to get on the train. I can't wait because he gotta call me at this time. He got one more
Yeah,
phone call
just
left,
too
and
much.
it just like,
Like,
I just
Right.
it was
me
a
just
lot.
just
Yeah.
even having a friend that was in jail was just like, you know, I'm in college, struggling college student. I need to put fucking money on my phone.
yeah.
But you know what? Like I
I
really
feel like that was an outlet though.
I mean, I took the opportunity.
Okay.
You know, because I was saying to myself, damn, I got a hell of a fucking sentence. You know, I got way more than a decade to be in here. So I need to figure out what I'm gonna be doing when I get out. So I gotta prepare for it. You know, and that was one of the things I guess that I was blessed to have, that ability to think ahead. You know, because even when I was a criminal, I used to think all types of ways that I was smart the police and shit like that. Even if I even planned if I got caught, how I would get out. You know, I've been on trial in my life 12 times. You know, I've lost twice. You know, so I beat the system 10 times. You know what I mean? Based off of thinking ahead.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So overall, that mentality is what saved me to think ahead and say, all right, when I get out, I got to get out and have a whole new game plan. It's going to be a new society. The rules is definitely going to change with the streets. I see the dudes coming in. Their mentality was way different from us. Like the dudes today, you'll see a young dude today that's in his 20s and shit standing on the corner, somebody, yo, let me get a quarter, yo, let me get $1. And it's like, yo, what the fuck? You an able-bodied young nigga. Like, why?
do your
Yeah,
thing.
like,
Yeah.
what's happening?
Yo, this generation is definitely different. Like you see it and you just like, wow, like this is where we've come to. Like this is like what happened.
They don't even care how they look. Like,
At all.
Yo, looking
Yeah.
crazy.
presentable, nothing.
I
But-
seen a dude sagging, and he had the darkest shit stain ever. And he's
yeah,
sagging.
like that's crazy.
It's like, yo, come on, get yourself
That's true.
together. And not only that, it's just like I feel
it
like
comes from home.
It
Let's
definitely
be
comes
real.
from
like
definitely
people are
definitely
like
comes
people
from
are just
home.
having
And
kids,
that's
but they not really
just,
parenting.
even thinking about like him talking about
like
the
even though you
system.
felt like
Right.
you felt like your parents when you grew up, you feel like it was, you know, you were exposed to a lot of criminal things or whatever. They shaped you in some way. Maybe it may not have been in a way that you
Right.
may have felt like it may have not been ideal, but there's people that get no shaping.
Get no shaping.
This-
exactly.
Yeah, whatsoever.
There's things that-
like,
Freestyle.
you know?
and that's something that I've been listening to a lot of books or whatever, and it just talks about like how childhood trauma like really leaks into like your adult
Adulthood,
life,
yeah.
and you do stuff, and you're like, why the fuck do I do this? And you're like, yeah,
You have
2
to-
months,
you have
2
to do
months old.
self-searching.
If your parents neglect you at 2 months old, that shit is affecting you until you're 20.
Yeah.
What
That's
the
true.
fuck? Like,
Yeah.
yo, like, and that's the thing about like people who don't realize, like, yo, this shit comes from above and down. Like,
Yeah.
if you guys don't
To pass it
correct
on
it,
and everything.
like,
I know we're talking about like, upbringing. I wanted to talk a little bit about your mom.
Yes, I
That
did.
she was in the Black Panthers.
Yeah, we're very pro-black here. Like,
Yeah.
we don't play the fucking game.
Yeah, we aren't. So like how was she involved
Yes.
in the Black
I mean, well, her and my father was, initially involved with the Black Spades and the Savage Skulls and all of those things, right? And then the New York chapter of the Black Panthers, came about, and my mother and father was like, getting involved with that situation, but I was really young then, I was like 4, and they was just learning about stuff, and I asked, a few questions about back then, and my mom's told me that, we had to fight for a lot of stuff because they was really disrespecting our rights and stuff like that.
That ass.
So
And I don't blame her. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
her.
for real. Because
Thank her, for
I feel
real.
like we're in a day and age where people just want to be
Equal.
they want to be equal so bad that it just doesn't matter what they have to lose just to be equal. And I feel like one of our biggest mistakes was trying to be integrated. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, I was
I think
dead
that's one of our
ass
biggest
talking about
mistakes.
that
Us
last
trying
night.
to integrate and try to, like, conform to like whatever people thought that we were supposed to be, or trying to live up to like the ideal of, I guess, the European standard of what we should be and how we should act or whatever. So I feel like we kind of lost that a little bit.
I think that happened, right, from the more caring souls, right, that were being oppressed. They just wanted to get along.
Yes. Grace.
So, right.
People who are going to church.
Right.
Religious people. Because I agree with you, because I have moments where I feel like that. Like, yo, I just don't want to fucking deal with this shit right now. But then sometimes you're just like, yo, I'm going to just fight because you know what? These bitches is trying me. Like,
But let's be real, because they say this too. Like, we went to HBCU or whatever, and they've had studies that literally say like Black people thrive way better in schools that are predominantly Black, whether it's middle school,
Feel way more
college,
confident.
or whatever. Like, you feel confident because you got to deal with like people. You got to deal with a lot of shit just being Black, period. So now you got to deal with being Black in an area where there's nothing but white people. So you trying to like, are you trying to fit in?
Gabrielle Union said it best. She said it. She said she regrets doing certain things because she was just like, yo, like I was just trying to be accepted. Like we were just trying to be the posh Black people. Like
Right.
we were trying to be the Black people that everybody loved. And it's just like, fuck being the Black person that everybody loves. I don't even fucking like your ass. Like,
See,
That's true.
I think that when it comes to acceptance and stuff like that, I think there's a lot of confusion going on with the whole situation. I mean, because it's not really black and white. It's really more mindset of the people, period. Because you have white people, right, who love the Black culture and every aspect of it and will live and die dealing with that versus their own culture.
Right.
Right? And you have...
Rachel Dozier.
Yeah.
That's how you say it.
No, because I feel like white people, they love our rhythm, but they don't like our blues. And Paul Mooney said it best. Like,
I think
want the
some
good
of them
shit
do, but not
about
everyone.
it. But if you really, Jane Elliott, she does studies with white people all the time. When she asks their asses to raise their fucking hand, when they say, "Would you be Black in America?" Nobody raises their fucking hand. Nobody ever raises their fucking hand. Nobody wants to be Black in America because they know it is a fucking struggle. But it's cool to want to talk like us.
Nobody wants to be
Black.
not only in America, anywhere.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
shit is
But
a
they're
struggle.
adopted
all right.
American.
Let's hear his
Now, look.
perspective.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
go.
gonna-
my perspective on that, right? As far as what it's like to be Black in America or whatever, right? Again, I think that's a heavy push indoctrination, right? And when I say that, I mean that if you're constantly seeing it happening to you and you feel like you're being placed in a situation where everything's against you and it's the media pushing it, social media, everything's pushing that you're the person that's
lowest on the totem pole.
right.
Right.
Okay, subconsciously, a lot of other people pick that stuff up and believe it. And since they don't want to go through issues, because every race gets bothered, right? Asians, whites,
Yeah, they
all get
Anybody that's not white.
right?
Yeah, every
But listen,
minority. How about
even,
that?
Even the white people,
The
like
poor ones, though.
listen,
That-
even look, the white people.
I even say that white
Listen.
people are even savage to their own fucking
Listen,
people. Like,
right.
They're savage to everybody. They
listen,
don't have a fucking
Look, when you really think about this thing in life, really, me personally, I believe that it's really about good spirited people and bad spirited people because you could be in any race and you can have a great heart or a bad heart. It all depends on what energy you're harboring. Now, as far as when you look at we get they kind of like try to brainwash us into believing that, you know, white people are in a better position than black people, right? But when you ask the average white person why they don't like the black people, right, who's racist, they usually tell you because black people be having all this fucking money, throwing money all around in the cameras and then just splurging on their fucking riches. They wear new, clean sneakers all the time. My sneakers been fucking dirty for 6 months, but every time you see a black guy, he got fresh new shit on.
They're always on welfare.
Right.
They take all the welfare.
Look, they say we get all the shows, we got affirmative action, we got all the fucking cards available to us because we're black, and they don't like it. Right, they feel like we're getting advantages because we're black.
But
but now watch this. No, but
let him finish.
I'm just saying from their perspective, right? When you look at it, if you do see us culturally, black people stay fresh. We stay fresh, right?
But why we stay fresh?
Right?
Why do we stay fresh?
I mean, we do that because we're buying our self-esteem, really.
That ass.
You know what I mean?
But they don't see that.
Right? But overall, in their eyes, they saying they can afford it somehow, and we fucking can't. These motherfuckers get rich off of fucking rapping, and that's how they act. Hey, he's rapping and make all his fucking millions. You know, he only doing is talking on a record. And like, it's nothing. Like, they think it's like we're getting too much shit effortlessly. A lot of us don't work and be up. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Never
You know? So
we gotta find a way around shit.
That's what they don't realize.
But when they look at that though, from their perspective, they're like, yo, we gotta go through. Look, they get mad. One time you had all these white people complaining that the dudes that they sent to prison was getting free college classes, right? And they like, well, I gotta bust my ass. And this dude break the law and he get a college class, he come on with a PhD. This is so unfair. They just think that we got all the luck when it's like from their perspective of the ones that's living regularly, right? But there's a people above all of this that controls the media in the way that we see things.
Absolutely,
right?
the 10%,
right? Right, not even 10.
It's 2. It's actually 2.
The 10% is really the bloodsuckers of the poor. The 10% is the people who know the truth and know the real shit, and they just using it to profit off.
The 2. I'm sorry, it's the 2% of the million. The 2% of the 7%. The 7 billion people on the earth. That do that shit.
Right.
The crazy part is it's so insane that there are people.
Squid Games
and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with people having a lot of money, but I just think there's no way that you get a certain amount of money without raping the efforts and raping the efforts of somebody who
doing
would never
something
be able
unmorally
to touch that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like with Jeff Bezos, like, you think his no way he got to this point without stepping on people. His workers are mad. They get, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that's why his wife left him.
I don't know about all that, but yeah,
his wife left him because she didn't believe in him in the beginning. She didn't think the company was going to take off because her whole complaint was that she's like, this is a stupid ass idea. Why do you want to build a company? But she said that it was a stupid ass idea, right? That he wants to build a fucking company that delivers stuff for other companies, right? And she was like, there's already a whole postal service. Like, this is dumb. And then when the money wasn't turning over in the beginning, that's what made her give up on him. Like, you know, this shit is stupid. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? Because she didn't see the grind that was going to take to get to that point. You know what I mean? So, Jeff Bezos, his thing is still different too because he grinded from nothing too. He ain't have shit. Like,
he didn't. But when people get to a certain level,
they have to step on people. You
forget and you step on people because that doesn't matter to you anymore. You're in a different.
It's not even about mattering to you. It can't matter to you.
Right.
If you can't.
That's the
thing. It's not that it doesn't matter.
If
you can't matter. And that's why there's a certain level of fame that I don't want to ever acquire because I don't want to have to step on people to get to where I want. I want to be comfortable, but I don't want to be able to, I don't want to have to step on you to get to where I want to go.
Here's the thing, right, about maintenance. Right? Once you get to a certain level of structure, stardom, and financial standards, there's going to be a level of maintenance that you're going to have to not care about so much stuff because it will bleed you and will put you right back at the bottom. You know, if you really want to be on top, you're going to have to turn cold to certain things. You know, You're going to have to find another way to give in another aspect, but you're going to have to turn cold to just, like, for example, when a person first start gaining status in entertainment, for like Hammer, for example, right? He was a artist that blew up really quick in the 90s, right? And had all these millions, bought a $20 million house and put his whole team on, and everybody is like looking to eat off him, and he's feeding everybody. And then that next project came out and didn't do those numbers. Then the same people that he was doing all this help for ended up suing him, and they bankrupted him. All the people he took out the hood sued him jointly.
But let's be real. Let me be real with that. The reason why, and this is just goes back to like how we are raised. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Get greedy.
no, like people, like, you're not supposed to help somebody to the point where you are left with nothing. You're supposed to help them to a point where you can help them at. Now, if you get to a certain point where you can help them and put them on, cool. But you're not supposed to help somebody and go broke with them, and now y'all back at
we talking
square
about
one.
people who don't have financial literacy, like,
And that's what I'm saying. We don't have that as a community. We do not have.
We don't have that, and that's
It all starts from young. It all starts from young.
It starts from young, and it also starts from what we push to each other too, though.
That's true.
See, because like, you know, a lot of times I realized in life, a lot of times people be having conversations. Like sometimes I'm having conversations with people, and then later on, where I go to confirm some stuff, and they didn't really grasp what I was saying to them before, but because of
lots of times
embarrassment, like some people be embarrassed to say that I don't know what you're talking about, so they just go, okay,
Yeah,
and agree with you.
That's
right?
true.
And then you know, there's a lack, you know, of understanding in this situation. And then when this happens so often, so many times people, you know, will be in a prime opportunity, a prime opportune moment to
ask a question,
right?
and they don't ask the
And they let it
question.
go,
That's true.
right? And then you have a lot of people who have a lot of arrogance, especially us. Like as far as our culture go, it's full of arrogance, right?
Full of it.
Right, you know, because we do have a lot of belief in our abilities to do shit, right? So with that said, sometimes with the arrogance, right, people will like overlook learning all they need to learn about something, and they will move forward just doing it. You know,
so
what I mean?
true.
And it's like, nah, I could do
It's
this.
so funny.
That's
That's so true. Like even in like certain situations, I'll ask my friends like, yo, questions, and like, you don't know the answer. I mean, I'm asking you a fucking question. Like,
right.
you can't have that accent when you want to.
That is true, though. I feel like a lot of people are scared to ask certain things. Like, for example, like when I talk to certain friends, they be like, "Oh, like you be acting like a journalist. You always want to know all this extra things." It's like, bitch,
no question
I
is
wanna know.
stupid.
What the fuck? Like,
No
what's
question
wrong
is
with knowing?
stupid.
Like,
Right.
you feel me?
No question is
There's
stupid, and that's
nothing
something.
wrong.
I'm so glad that I was raised like no question is stupid. Just fucking ask the question.
Even if you make me feel stupid for asking
the
I'm
question.
glad I know now.
yeah.
But see, here's the thing. You see what just took place, though, right? People will try to make you feel stupid for asking.
Dead
And
ass.
this is what stops people from learning. Because on a grand scale, no one wants to be the oddball out. You know what I mean? Everybody wants
Assumption is the
social
biggest
acceptance.
problem.
Right.
Assumptions.
But look, I'm not gonna lie, we gotta wrap up. This was like really great. But I wanted to ask you one thing. I wanted to ask you two things, but first thing I wanted to ask was, what do you feel is your transformation? Because I feel like even though you went to jail, it doesn't
exude off of you. Like,
it's not like, oh, this
that's
nigga was in
mentality.
jail.
Like,
Like, yeah, it doesn't feel like that. So how do you feel like you have come to this place where jail didn't make you?
Okay. Well, again, I believe that was my journey of self-discovery that actually put me in a better position, and my determination to not go back in there and fall victim to this situation. Because, like, I realized in life, in general, all the stuff that I was breaking the law to do and all that hard work I was putting in to break the law, I could have did the same thing with not breaking the law, right? Because the reality kicked in that everything is a hustle. If a motherfucker can sell water, socks, whatever the fuck he can sell.
Everything's a hustle.
Product is a product. You know, all you gotta do is know your supply and demand, you know, figure out your marketing strategy with it or whatever. And it's really the same fucking principle. Just when I was selling crack, I knew that my market was over here in the hood, you know, and I knew that the supply and demand was at this level. I knew that I had to purchase this much to bag up that much to generate this much. It's like the same principalities. It's just so once you get to that point of determination where you go, all right, well, let me direct my attention in another form of hustling and figure that one out and perfect that one out and change that. Now, as far as my personality, I did pick up a lot of jail things that are still there that I'm still working with. Like I can't stand nobody standing behind me because I feel like they're gonna try to cut me. It's just a energy that I get now because I've been through it so much. I got scars on my face, been stabbed.
PTSD.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I realized.
Just normal.
Yeah, but
Definitely normal.
But I consciously make an effort not to let jail things show. So it's because I'm being aware. This makes things different. Whereas some people go through traumas and go through life and don't try to do no self-discovery or
just doing the same thing over and over again.
Right. You know, they get caught
back
up
in the same place.
What's called a hypnotic rhythm, you know?
It's called insanity. Like,
But I think my turning point really was me having a daughter, right? And my little girl, you know, when I went to jail, when I went to the feds, right? She was a few weeks old. You know what I mean? So it was like, damn, I just left a little girl out there. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, it's different to leave a little boy out there. I mean, because boys grow up without their pops on the regular. You know what I'm saying? But when a girl grows up without her father, it's something different because, you know, it could be traumatic. It could fuck her up with the dudes she interact with, especially if the mother doesn't show her the right dudes to interact with you going. You know what I'm saying? Right? So that was like something that was keeping me sane and keeping me from not losing myself, like saying, all right, because I wanted to be wild. You know, I wanted to continue with the wild behavior, but I was like, if I do that, I'll never make it home to, you know, and by the time I come home, she'll be a grown woman who don't need me and then probably done been with a whole bunch of dickheads. You know what I'm saying? She'd have probably been all fucked up, you know? So I think my why was the thing that brought me through, you know? Whereas if a person doesn't find a why or a reason for shaping, you know, then you can get caught up in anything.
That's definitely, you know what? That's a word.
That's true.
And I just want to plug this book in because I'm reading it right now and it's really fucking good. What Happened to You by Oprah Winfrey and I can't remember his name, Dr. Perry. He's a Perry. His last name is Perry. It's a really fucking good book and it talks about like childhood trauma and how it pours over into your real life and how like, you know, how you heal from it and how like like I'm saying, up to 2 months old, like that shit could really like change your entire life. It's just different. Like when I'm listening to it, I'm like, yo, this is why this person acts like this. You start thinking about your friends and you're like, yo, damn, like trauma goes so deep.
Nah, it does. I definitely agree with that.
Trauma definitely goes deep.
But I want you to, so since we're at the end, I want you to plug yourself in.
Yes,
you know,
your businesses, anything.
Okay. Well, my Instagram is o.g._Kliclak. My name is OG Kliclak. Kliclak is one word. My birth name is Russell Harrington. You can find me on Facebook under that name. You know, RUSSELLHARRINGTON. I customize sneakers, leather jackets.
Ooh, I like that.
I do murals. I'm getting ready to launch a site. My site is going to be Mr. 101s because I'm one of one. I'm my mama's and my father's only son. I grew up on Amsterdam on the 101 line. Damn. You know, so everything about it.
That's a significant, you know. And you know, he's a Leo, so he's one of one. You already know.
Everything I draw or design on clothing, I only do one of one. I don't do duplicates or nothing. So anything I create for you
I like
one.
that.
You know what I mean?
And he could really draw though. It's not like it's like. Oh,
and if Akila's saying it, she's definitely saying some facts.
You know, like, I could have kept this to myself.
You know, I kind of like, you know, for that. I'll try to make you feel a little good, but
no, he could really draw though. Like I'm not gonna hold you or whatever. So,
Mr. 101.
Yeah.
So when you come out with your stuff, we'll plug you in. We'll plug you in.
We'll definitely plug you in. I wish you would have told you. I wish I would have known you drawn before. I would have been like, yo, bring some pictures. Like,
oh yeah, you could have.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you
that's
know.
true. We could, you know,
we could throw some. We could throw some more on the end. Like, if you like his work.
You want to plug anything in?
Yeah.
The only thing I want to plug in is our Instagram. Make sure you guys follow us. Make sure you guys like, subscribe at Heard You Sis Podcast. Thank you for the comments that we've been getting. We've been seeing y'all. Like, we've been seeing y'all. And just make sure you follow OG Kliclak and keep tuning in because, you know, we got some shit coming.
Also, one thing I want to plug in, my sister, she's here behind the scenes though.
Yes.
Yeah, she got a few songs down. Okay, we went to her show yesterday or whatever. And her Instagram is, you can follow her at Mika Femme. It's MIKA_FEMM. So
yes.
check that out, y'all.
Hey to my good sis. Love you, sis. And make sure burning ash always.
Yeah, burning ash is always.
Always. The burning ash is always.
Your smoking paraphernalia needs, we got you, my nigga.
Everything. Perfect papers.
Later.
Later, y'all.
Peace.